Namaste, Vanakkam, Swagatam, Namaskaram. Welcome everyone to day 7 of the SBV Yoga Mahotsav, our International Yoga Therapy Convention, where we are focusing on the theme of strengthening the cultural ethos of yoga therapy. Today, we are going to be having two amazing Shaktis, dynamic energy powerhouses of yoga, give their presentations. And before that, let us begin by invoking the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Paramparaye Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayate. Om Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Om Pudavai Kalemamani Pudavai Shakti Yogacharini Amma Ji Meenakshi Devi Bhavanani Guru Mata ki Jai. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So hearty welcome to everyone. And this morning, the first speaker of our session is Yoga Tilagam Dr. Meena Ramanathan. Dr. Meena, as so many of you know her, has been on the journey of yoga for more than 2.5, now nearly 3 decades, and has been serving the cause of yoga in a very dedicated, selfless manner. Her work with our patients at CYTER over the past 15 years, at CYTER before that, at Yoganjali Natyalayam and at her own Arogya Center, has transformed lives of thousands of people over these decades. She has a PhD in yoga and was the first Pondicherryan to receive a PhD in yoga, and today is guiding other PhDs in yoga and yoga therapy, published many books, translated so many of my books into Tamil, has written so many excellent papers on yoga, some excellent research over the years. And a very notable aspect is her work with those sections of society that are normally underserved. So especially our silver citizens in Pondicherry, the senior citizens, the transgender community in Pondicherry, because near Pondicherry we have a temple which is very sacred to the transgender community. Hence, a lot of opportunities to work with this underserved, excluded community. And I think the one closest to her heart is with the special children, the children who are now termed Divyanga, those who are divinely abled, and the work at Sadai and now at Satya and through CYTER has transformed the lives of so many of these children and their families. Meena works with me on a regular basis at CYTER as the Deputy Director of CYTER. And when she comes back from her trip to USA, I believe there will be a change in designation, because a lot of designations are changing at SBV these days. As you know, we have been upgraded from a Center for Yoga Therapy and a Center for Music Therapy. It is coming together as an Institute of Complementary Medicine and Salitogenesis, with a School of Yoga Therapy and a School of Music Therapy as its two major wings. So anticipating some changes when she comes back to CYTER. And I think what really stands out with Meena is her total commitment to whatever she does. There's never a moment that I would ever doubt her commitment. There's never a moment I would doubt her sincerity or her total heartfulness in whatever she does. She doesn't believe in anything being less than what she can do her maximum. And I'm sure that today's presentation on keeping the yoga in yoga therapy is going to be one of those presentations that will stay with us for a long time. So with those words, over to you, Dr. Meena, and looking forward to sitting back and for the next 45 minutes, listening to your amazing exposition. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you so much for those kind words. Sitting back, you can kind of, like listen to yourself. Because whatever I am speaking or whatever I'm saying is mostly, whatever we have adapted from you. So thank you so much for being there for us always. So without much, delay, let me share the screen. Is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, perfect. Perfect.
So being part of this Yoga Mahotsav, such a wonderful pleasure. And thank you, sir, for all that you have been and for, all the opportunities and for the stages that you have set for us and being there for us always, teaching us, guiding us. And, that is what has kept us going. And whatever we are today is we owe it to you. So thank you. And with just my dedication, this whatever I am doing is a sincere dedication to whatever I have absorbed from you. So, Om. So again, acknowledging, that the magnanimity, sir, has let me use the materials for this presentation. So, right. So let's start now. Good health, well-being. Such priceless commodities, and all that we do is to regain that state of health and wellness. And how do we go about doing this? It is through yoga, because yoga enables us to attain that state. Not only just attain, it also helps us to sustain and maintain that. It is not enough you get the first rank, but you have to be there and maintain that, right? So that is very important, and yoga enables us to do that. So how does yoga help us? By bringing things together, by putting things together, connecting things together, connecting the body, mind, soul, like a link, and then integrating the whole together, because each one of them is connected in its own way. They are all interlinked and influence each other. So any little disturbance in one aspect is going to disturb the whole of this equilibrium. So it is very essential that this whole equilibrium is kept stable and balanced, and it has to be connected also. And once it is disintegrated, we know what happens, right? So all this is enabled only through yoga, which is a way of life. So what is all this health that we talk about? Swastha and arogya. So in scientific parlance, the concept of health is defined as absence of disease. Arogya, roga is not there, which means there is no disease and the person is called healthy. But do we accept the same thing in yoga? No, of course not. We have to go beyond everything, right? So in yoga, an individual is defined healthy, the state of swastha, purna, when all the bodily functions are in harmony and he is established in the self with his mind, soul, and senses all completely tranquil, as defined by Sushruta in Sushruta Samhita, Samadosha Samagnishcha Samadhatu Malakriya Prasannatma Indriya Swasta Idya Vidiyate. So what is this state of Sukha? That is the state where you are established in yourself. You are at ease with yourself. And once you lose that sense of ease, what happens? You end up having a disease. You are pushed into that state of suffering, dukkha, pain, misery, and all that. So what is the nature of yoga? That is to reconnect you and regain that state of Sukha Sthanam. That is the sense of the comfort zone of the comfort zone of each individual, where you are established in your essential nature, that state where you are just you, established fully, and you are healthy there. And health and well-being, it is understood as a continuum of the human nature, not a state to be attained and maintained, not just a state. So this health, as we said, is a dynamic movement between total ill health and total health. The ill health is that state of dukkha, the disease, and the other extreme is health, the state of sukha, sukhasthanam, and the state where you are at ease. But where do we are kind of, dilly-dallying between, in the somewhere in the center, in the state where we, call ourselves normal. If we go this side, you end up in the disease, and if we go the other side, you end up being more than, better than normal. So what is yoga therapy all about? Yoga therapy is a process of empowering the individuals, utilizing the principles and practices in yoga. So empowering the other person, that is what yoga therapy is all about. Something that is lacking in another individual, you are helping them to regain that what is lacking. So this is like, how do we do this? We apply the concepts and the tools to help them attain that state of synchronicity. And the concepts meaning the philosophy, the psychology, and the yoga practices. It is not just the yoga practices that are being applied here. So all together, when all these are brought together, is to make it authentic, and that is when it becomes acceptable in the society, in the world, in the scientific world, especially nowadays. And we can raise our head, look straight in the eye, and say, yes, this is it. And how do we do it? Because each individual has different needs, and we have to adapt and modify this according to each individual, to suit their own needs, according to their physical, psychological, and emotional needs, not just the physical needs, right? So we have to look into so many other aspects also, for which we need to have an in-depth knowledge of the practices, and not just the ability to perform the advanced asanas or to perform the practices. We need to be able to take it forward, understanding the value of each and every technique that we are manipulating there. So to me personally, I could say that yoga therapy is an extension of yoga, maybe an extended arm of the art and science of yoga. And here in yoga therapy, as we say, one size does not fit all. We have to tailor it to suit each and every individual, because ultimately, what is our aim? To empower them, which means we have to think about their perspective and their need, and individual needs keep changing. It is never a constant. It keeps on changing moment to moment. So we need to adjust and adapt according to that, and so that they can attain the therapeutic value. So to sum up all this, yoga therapy is the professional application of principles and practices of yoga to promote health and well-being within a therapeutic relationship that includes personalized assessment, goal setting, lifestyle management, and the practices and concepts along with the philosophy and psychology for the individuals or groups. A few representative samples of group therapy sessions that happen for the staff and for the nurses out in the community, for the senior citizens, the transgenders, the special children, all of them getting a chance to experience these practices. So all this, the practice, is more than just a mere practice. It is more, I would say, what you feel when you are there, what you experience. More than what you experience, it is like what you learn from that experience. And Yoga therapy nests in the larger yoga, which is therefore neither separate from nor greater than yoga. So it is always integrated and they go together hand in hand. And we have this choice. We have the yoga marga, the path of yoga, or the bhoga marga, the path of pleasure. To follow, to choose. What is it that we want? Yoga marga. It is so difficult. It is not so easy to traverse in this path. But the path that we adopt, though it is difficult, it is going to propel you to spiral upwards, and move. This is more a permanent path. This is not at all pleasant, but it is good and very beneficial and long lasting in the end, ultimately. So that is what we need. And the other marga is the bhoga, which is full of pleasure and, just like a cakewalk. Happy go lucky guy, you can just walk through it and there's nothing. It's very, very short term. It is very temporary. It's very pleasant, but not good. So you have these two extremes. The yoga marga, to me personally, what I feel is like, it's like walking up the mountain. You can say it is not a straight walk up like this. It is like you walk around the mountain, trying to climb up and then, to reach the top. So every time you move up, it is like a spiral. And, the path is like spiraling upwards. You keep climbing the mountain. The more you climb, it is like it is all encompassing 360 degrees. And the higher you go on the mountain, it is like your view changes. It's like, the more higher you go, the perspective, because your view changes, your inner perspective changes. You are able to look at things from a different angle, different view. And that is what the yoga marga is all about. Ultimately, we are spiraling and moving upwards. And, as explained in the dualistic philosophy by Lord Yama to Nachiketa in Kathopanishad, he talks about the Shreya Marga and the Preya Marga. The Shreya, which is the Yoga Marga, the difficult one and not at all pleasant, and the Preya Marga, which is a very pleasant one but not good. So we have these two different paths. What is it that we want? The choice is ultimately ours. Which one to choose? Think about it and then let's go about. And the term salutogenesis is akin to yoga therapy, yoga, because both have the same goal, the same, kind of an outlook. This term salutogenesis, I think it's not a new term anymore, because we've been talking about it, and in each and everything this is being projected, and this term was coined by Antonovsky, where we come to understand about health not as just as a not as an absence of disease, but something beyond, something more than that. So in salutogenesis, the focus is completely on the factor that supports human health and wellness. So what is it that is going to promote health and wellness? What are the factors that are there? And the focus is entirely on this, on the building up. And the other arm is the pathogenesis, where the focus is on the pathogens, the factors that cause the diseases. As we all know, yatho mana tata prana. Where the mind goes, there the prana flows. So where are we going to focus? Where are we going to channelize our energy? Is it towards the health and wellness to build up, or is it towards the on the factors that cause disease and disintegration? Again, let's choose. So to putting all this together, we have this definition of health by WHO, which states that Health is, again, it's a dynamic state. It is not that you achieve, you reach there and then give it up and then it is going to be sustained there. No, not at all. It is just going to go off. So we have to sustain and maintain, which means we have to keep working every moment to retain that. And it is not just absence of disease, but it is a dynamic state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. So the factor beyond the absence of disease is that all these components are put together, and that is when it becomes whole, and that is when the individual becomes holistic and he can remain in, enjoy that state of health and well-being. So what is this curing and healing? This is something that, it's close to my heart, because it was explained by Professor Sethuraman sir, a dear mentor and a father-like figure to me. And, one of his talks, and this is something that I have adapted from him, the concept of curing and healing. There's an anecdote that goes with this. There's a family who've been wanting to buy a car for a long time, and at last they get to buy the car, a brand new car, and then all of them go on a trip to a cinema, and they park the theater outside the theater, and they go into the theater, watch the film, have fun, and then they come out and see that the car is missing, it's gone. So then they give up, raise a complaint, and the police find the car. It takes a long time, maybe 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever it is. And then ultimately they regain it. But so symptomatically saying they have regained the car, so things are fine. So the symptomatic relief is there. I just want you to relate this to the symptomatic relief and the holistic relief. But just imagine next time they are going out again and they are parking a car. Do you think that they are just going to park it and go freely? Because, ultimately it is, the reminder is going to come again. Amygdala, hippocampus, the memory, it is going to, the unpleasant memory is going to come back again. So the trauma that they are carrying, this is just a small incident, right? There are so many such things that are built up in our lives, in our daily lives. So you can imagine the trauma that we are going through, mentally, emotionally. Can you get over it? And that is where we are thinking about this factor called salutogenesis or whole yoga, to treat that person holistically so that the healing can occur. So healing is where the whole integrated thing can be together, whereas curing is only the symptomatic change that is happening. And that is the difference that we want to keep highlighting. So yoga chikitsa, the yoga therapy, as we say, why is it, it is applied to have the correction done in the psychosomatic disassociation. Because where is the problem occurring now? The mind body disintegrating, and because of which you have the perception distorted. And bringing them back together, connecting them and correcting them is the role of, is a part of the what yoga therapy is all about, chikitsa. So when the yoga teachers or the therapists only focus on the symptoms without addressing the cause, it would be called, this term coined by Ananda sir, yogopathy. Pati is suffering, and this is just all the pathis that we go through. And yogopathy, we never want it to be that, because it is only the symptoms. So let me just go through this with a few examples. Say a patient comes to you with raised blood pressure, hypertension, and you measure the blood pressure and you see that it is high. Okay, you give them a few practices, Chandranadi Pranayama, Shavasana, and Pranava Pranayama, whatever you want to give. You give it, and then, after the session, you see that the BP is normalized, and then he goes. The next day he comes back, or after a week he comes back, and you see that the BP is raised again. And so this continues. Why? Why do you think it is happening? There's another, example that I would, this is very close to my heart, because it's some very typical example that we go through, we come across at CYTER every day. Two patients come with the same diagnosis: obesity, depression. Both of them obese and depressed. So the medical diagnosis says this. So they come. Do you think that we can plan one protocol and give it to both of them? And that is where the mistake lies. It's a million dollar question, because we need to look at things. In the case of the first person, he was obese and he tried everything under the sky to get the weight down, but it was not happening, because of which he got depressed. So the prime cause is here that needs to be treated first is the obesity. Whereas in the other person, he was depressed, because of which he was adapting the faulty lifestyle. He was eating faulty food, all wrong food, because of which he developed obesity. So what is the thing that needs to be treated here is the depression first. So beyond that also, so what are the other connected things here? So all these things need to be looked at, and not just what is expressed symptomatically and what is just the diagnosis. And that is when, when you treat the cause that has brought out the symptoms. The symptom is just a superficial thing, but what lies under that is very, very deep. The psychosomatism, as we say, the psychology, it is in the subtle layers, which means you have to go deep within to find the cause, and then only it can be tackled. And unless and until that cause has been addressed, the symptoms are not going to cease completely. So the cause of disease, according to yoga, this has been, discussed again and again, as beautifully done by, Nritya ji and Vinay Chandra ji and our dear Sridharan sir yesterday, about all this, about the interrelations between, how Sankhya and yoga are connected, the Prakriti, Purusha, and, the Trigunas, the influence on Trigunas on the individual. Beyond which, about all this, you have the three doshas and the imbalance in the three doshas, and the Dwadasha Prana, as described in our tradition, the Gitananda tradition, the Pancha Pranavayu, the Pancha Upapranavayu, and the two Parapranavayus, the Akasha Pranavayu and the Chitra Pranavayu, making it 12, the Dwadasha, and their imbalances. So anything that is in this imbalance is going to cause disease. And above all this, we have Yoga Vasishta, the scriptural text where sage Vasishta is counseling Lord Rama, where he explains, the types of diseases which are primary and secondary. The primary one is the Adhija Vyadhi, which is psychosomatic. What is the primary cause? Is in the mind, the emotions, which causes a disturbance in the body, settling down as Vyadhi. And the other one is the secondary disease, which is the non-psychosomatic, which is Anadija Vyadhi, which is like, the infectious diseases, the accidents, and so on. And the other classification would be the somatopsychic, from the body to the mind, the Vyadhija Adi. Other than all these factors which, cause disease, Swami Gitananda Giri Guru Maharaj has, again added up one more thing, Dvaitam, as the main cause to push us into that state of Adi, the confusion, the distractions, the disturbances, the fluctuations in the mind. What is that? That is the Dvaitam, the duality. Why does that duality arise? The starting point, fear. Fear. You are threatened by, somebody is threatened by you. You are threatened by somebody. So the distinction occurs. You are separate. I am separate. You are different. I am different. So this duality is something which is the root cause for the suffering and the disease that is being promoted later. So, next is the Chatur Vyuham. So how do we diagnose? How do we come to, how do we come into the treatment part of it after the diagnosis? So this is the Chatur Vyuham, which Sridharan sir so beautifully explained yesterday with his experiential knowledge. The Heya Hetu Hana Upaya. Heya, what are the challenges? What are the symptoms? So when somebody comes to you, what are you first record is, so how are you? How do you feel? And the symptomatic things are what are being discussed first. So that will be the heya. And the next step would be hetu, to analyze what is the cause that these symptoms are being manifest in this individual. So what is the cause that is causing these symptoms? And the hana, which is the goal. Where do they want to go? What is it that they want to attain from these practices? What are they looking for? What is it that they want out of, when they come, they'll have something. When they come, maybe, a relief from all the symptoms, or they would simply say, I want to sleep well, or I want to sit. Sir often says, I want to sit and do my prayer. So I want to sit, I'm not able to sit. So that is something, that is the goal that that particular individual has. And analyzing all this, putting everything together, and then the final step would be the upaya. We come to the tools, what is the applicatory aspect, the practices. This has also been further, emphasized and put up, explained by sage Thiruvalluvar in a saying that Noi Nadi, Noi Mudal Nadi, the same thing, that you have to look at not just the symptoms, but you have to look beyond that into the root cause. And at CYTER, we have created this Yoga Chikitsa Anukrama, which is an assessment sheet, and it has been copyrighted by SBV also. And where we look at all these factors, there are so many factors that are being, listed, that are being collected about an individual. How do they look? Are they fidgety? Are they anxious? Are they okay, cool? Do they look into your eye and speak when they are addressing you? So there are so many things that, if you touch, sometimes their hands may be cold, or there may be something wrong, and you keep questioning them, prashnam. And all these put together along with the Dvadasha Roga Lakshana, the 12 diagnostic tools as given to us by Swamiji, all these are taken into consideration. And for example, understanding the prana vayu, the concept of the pancha prana, the prana, apana, samana, udhana, and the vyana vayus. We know all that, the location where it is, present, and which part of the body is it addressing. So with the scientific, if we can approach this in a scientific manner and manage the yoga therapy, so that is going to help us work the yoga diagnosis rather than just the medical one. This is just one example I'm giving you. So to sum up, yoga chikitsa, what is it that we need to understand? We have to understand that the physical, emotional states, the attitudes, the dietary concept, and the behavioral patterns, the lifestyle, the environment, the age of the individual, all these, and in which we live, the environment where we live, where we work, all of them are intimately linked to each other, and again, I'm just stipulating this. Any disturbance in any one aspect of any of this is going to disturb all the others, because they are all intimately linked to each other. It is not separate compartments. And we the symptomatical cure can be attained by treating them medically or with any other alternate or complementary modality. But how do we get over it? How do we bring that complete transformation? Unless and until we address the deep patterns that are going around, the samskaras, the vasanas, the kleshas, unless and until these are uprooted, addressed and uprooted, this is going to be recreated. The whirlpool that is pulling you down, the vortex that is swallowing you. So this is going to occur again and again unless we address these factors. So this is why it is very important that we have this living tradition, because yoga is not just preach, teach, and pose. This pose is happening lots. But that is not what yoga is all about. We need that living tradition to help us, to guide us, to support us. We have lots of doubt coming across, every day, every moment when we are talking to somebody, so many things are happening. So how do we address them? So we need that guidance moment by moment. So that is when one is like, we need to understand and we need to make those corrections accordingly. And the concepts, practices, that is when all of them will become experiential. So under the guidance of this living tradition, once these practices and concepts become experiential, you start, you have the changes that you can experience. You begin to respond and you're not reacting. And what you say, what you think, you say and you do. So there's a beautiful alignment in your thought, your word and your deed. And when all this is there, this is all settled, yoga speaks for you and you don't need to show anything about it at all. So like as human beings, we tend to fall down. Yes, of course, all of us have our ups and downs. That is what the whole journey or whole life of it's a roller coaster journey. So what is it that matters now is, once you fall down, how quickly can you get up and how quickly can you start walking again in your path? And that is what is so important. How do we do that? Yoga is going to help us do that. How? By letting go of the negativities. There's no point in holding on to all these negative tendencies, negativities that we hold on, that is burdening us, that is pressurizing us and putting us down. So just let go of that and regain your balance, your composure, your samatvam, your state of equipoise, that so that you can replenish your resources and you can face the challenges very, very efficiently, because you are now empowered. And that is when you can adopt to the healthy attitudes. Pratipaksha bhavanam, like we say, we can replace the negative tendencies with the positive ones and we can move on. So it doesn't matter how many resources we have. We have so many techniques, like so many thousands of techniques. Unless and until we understand the value, each one is like a live wire. It's so valuable and it brings so much of changes. So unless and until we know how to manipulate that, how to utilize that, how to apply that, it is of no use. Like, in Tamil, we say, Korangu Kaila Pumala, like, giving a beautiful garland in the hands of a monkey. So that is how this is going to be, unless it is handled properly. A qualitative survey was conducted, like among the yoga teachers and therapists. It was done by Sir Ananda Sir, And why was this done? Was to check, how aware these teachers are as far as the research findings are, and how far do they apply these research findings in their everyday teaching. So that was why the survey was conducted, and it was found that most of them said that it helped helped them to think clearer, and they felt on a safer side that this has been tested, this has been studied, and now we can apply it, it's as a authenticated, so we don't have any fear in applying it. That was what was the general outline that came out of the study, out of the survey. But still, what was missing was that majority of them did not follow all this. It was only a few who remained updated on these findings. So what is the need of this present hour is a good symbiotic relationship between the researchers, the yoga researchers, and the yoga teachers and therapists. The researchers have to, not just the scientific research work, they need to have a knowledge of the tradition, the value of the concepts of the practices. Unless and until they do that, how are they going to research on that? And the teachers need to understand that there are these aspects which are being, researched upon, studied upon. So how do they bring it into practice? So both should go together for the holistic benefit of everybody. So again, this is, human being. What is the beauty of every human being is the dynamism. Even when we are still, say for example, we are holding an asana. We are holding there, we are perfectly still, but still, the breath is flowing, the heart is beating, blood is circulating, there is movement, there is dynamism inside. But more often, this movement is very unconscious. But yoga awakens, the awareness within, and makes all these unconscious things become conscious. How do we move? How do we breathe? Each and everything, what are our thoughts all about? Where is our mind? And this awareness enables the shift from the state of movement to that state of stillness where you're completely, poised, in a state where you are in that state of poise. And that state where you are still but completely vibrant. There's so much of energy there. So this is the journey where, from movement to stillness, from noise to silence, the ahata to anahata, from the individual identity to that universal distinctiveness. And to conclude, yoga chikitsa is becoming, global. Why? Because it is being scientifically, there are a lot of evidences that are coming up, establishing the therapeutic potential. But, just to prove that, just to make it popular, we should not forget the experiential aspect, because that is more important. That is what gives life to the whole, the practice. So the healing potential of yoga chikitsa depends on the conduits, namely us, all of us, and we are responsible in transmitting the spirit and the integrity of yoga to the seekers, patients, clients, whatever you call them as. So yoga therapy without yoga will not be yoga therapy anymore, because it is like an individual without prana. That is what I would say. Yoga therapy without the component of yoga is like a dead person, the jada as we call it. Yoga chikitsa is based on salutogenesis, where we look at the person as a whole for the benefit of the holistic health and wellness in that individual. Whereas yogopathy is based on the pathogenesis, the causes that promote, what are the factors that are promoting disease. So eventually, what is the goal of yoga? It is yoga itself. So to do or to be is the question, $1 million question, right? Again, the choice is entirely ours, in our hands. So thank you. Thank you so much. And let me stop sharing. Yes. So thank you all. I just hope that there was something gained. It's just that again and again what we keep establishing is that in yoga therapy, it is the person, the individual who is being treated, and not the disease, not the disorder, the symptom. It is just the individual. So each individual is different, the needs are different. So whatever we are doing has to be adapted and adjusted to empower that particular individual holistically. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meena, for that excellent presentation. And I think this is, very, very important to fit the big wheel that we have been talking about. That when we talk about strengthening the cultural ethos of yoga therapy, we have had all these different perspectives. And now as we come towards the last 2 days of today and tomorrow, of course, 21st will be the 9th day. So it's a full 9-day circuit. But as we come towards this conclusion, we start to realize how all of it is about being wholesome, holistic, a whole person approach. And this is what your presentation has so beautifully given us. And everybody who's watching it live will be enjoying it. And those who watch the recording will also enjoy it, because it gives the context of how yoga chikitsa is that whole person approach, rather than a piecemeal approach that has become the modern yoga therapy, which, as you rightly pointed out, the yogopathy approach. And we have been blessed at SBV and Sri Balaji Vidyapeeth that we have management that supports us. We have administrators who support us in taking this whole person holistic perspective to benefit each and every person who comes to us seeking care. I think this is very vital. So thank you for giving us this holistic perspective, Dr. Meena. And we will be going over now to the second part of today's talk. Today's session, where we are going to be having Devasena Bhavanani talk to us and give us a perspective of what is Nada and how the Nada enables us to be at the best level of our own vibration. We are all vibrating at different frequencies, and how that attunement to the frequency that is our own frequency can occur. And as you know, with the Devasena, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of singing and chanting and interaction. So without taking up much more time, I'm going to invite her over here. As you know, today is Sunday, so I'm presenting from the ashram. So I'll have to move from my seat so that Devasena can be here. And I'll log in to the other side computer so that I can follow whatever is going on. So thank you so much, Dr. Meena. Thank you everyone for being with us. Going over to Devasena's session, and then I'll come back to take it forward in its concluding remarks. Namaste, Dhanyavad.
Namaste everyone. Vanakkam. Nice to have you all in front of me. So again, great day and very pleasant to be with you all. and of course, to be part of SBV, the Yoga Mahotsava. It's very pleasant, and I want to thank Dr. Ananda for this great opportunity for me, and to be with you all again. It's so wonderful. Okay, so we are talking about the different topics, all related to yoga, cultural. Yes, that's what our great rishis brought in their own effort. The whole sadhana, they put it in their sadhana, I mean energy, full energy, so that it's still alive, in the society. Ammaji always says that they did the tapas, that very strong is still taking us be more strong to go in that, even though we are, flip off in our way sometime. It's just remind us, you see what they did, what they protected, how much they have gone through, like that, because Ammaji always says, only the rishi and sadhus are my ancestors, like that, because in their own family, we'll do all the, like every month Amavasa and every year, that all the Janma Tithi we give, and but still Ammaji always think that all the rishis who are gone through this great tapas, they were gone through, it's not, maybe in that time it was little bit easier, but still they have maybe gone through more difficulty than what we feel now. Who knows, because every time it's something new coming up, and so, but still with their energy, we are still going on, and that energy will protect us and take us, lead us to go through the life. And that's what Ammaji always, Swamiji always says, yoga is way of life. So that's what we are learning in the life. Everything is learning process, and this is not the only lifetime we learned. Of course, we learned already some other lifetime already here and there little bit. That's what still it's pulling us to be in the path. And of course, still maybe yoga is very famous now, and it's taking to all the corner. Of course, with our Prime Modi ji made the yoga for many countries. It's mind blowing that how many countries can just join and do the yoga day. It's not easy what he did, but it's really very wonderful thing and marvelous. And of course, yoga, it's our our Dr. Ananda says, it's like his mother, own mother. So how much we feel with our own mother, the love, affection, respect, the same thing. But still, it's gone for the every corner. We feel like in the world, it's gone to the every corner. But still, quite few of them not at all thinking about yoga, or they don't know even how to spell yoga even. So still maybe people are like that, but they can feel that, they don't know how to spell, or they don't know how to practice, they don't know how to think. Even sometimes in my practice, some things I cannot really explain, but I could feel. So that's the thing, very strong. That's the vibration we can talk about, that the vibration very strongly our rishis have made for the whole Janma Bhumi. So it's very strong, so that they can feel, because it's, as Ammaji Swamiji always say, yoga is way of life. So from the morning, whatever they are doing in that discipline, they all put it together in all the ceremonies, they tie together, whatever the thing they are doing. Some people, they don't know what they are doing in the family, they were doing, so I'm following, I'm doing. So they don't know, but they are continuing to do that. So some know why they are doing with the meaning, some they don't know, but they still do. So why is making them to do that? What is making them to go through? Still, they have to do. Some people, they think, okay, in the family they did, I have to do. But still, that vibration is pulling us to do. So you feel that whenever you are doing that, that vibration is giving you that, yes, you can feel that when you do that, you can be in that. So as doctors say, you be, you don't do, you be there. So you be there. So in that, when we are being in that, when you are doing in that, we are being there. So that being makes us to feel why we are doing. That's what gives us like that. So like a nishkama karma, in anything, we have to think that without going to get the benefit, we have to go through. But sometimes we have to tell, because when you do this, you will get that. Because of that's why all the chantings in the end they say Phalastuti. So when you chant this, you get this benefits. So that at least they will do. So that's why in our customs, all our ceremonies, they did, when you do this, you get this punya. You do this, you get this benefit. Like that, they just really give you the benefits so that at least you will do. So it's all like bringing all together. Like when I first time entered to the ashram, it's like Ammaji's whole structure, they put it all together. It's not the place that you can find very easily, because in the same ashram, you can just feel the vibration of dance, music, chanting, singing, bhajans, yoga. So it's not easy to find any place like that. Even though when you go to temple, you find like all the chantings, all the things give you the energy. So like that, when I entered the ashram, wow, this is like a Swarga Bhumi in our Janma Bhumi. So that's the vibration they made the structure, So like that, why they brought all together. So for the people also who are going through the 6-month course, they have to learn to sing, chant, bhajans, everything. They made the compulsory. So like that, when they do everything, they started to feel that benefit, the vibration. So it's in us, as Doctor said, everyone have their own vibration. We have, as Ammaji says always, we have our own sound. So sound, sometimes it's not really nice word to say in English. So that vibration, each one of us, we have our own nada. So that nada, we have to feel that from in us. That means we have to go through many tapas, like a rishi has gone through, and we have to try to go inside of us, so that we can start to be aware of our own nada. Because every place, everything is with the nada. The universal is started with the om, the a, o, even though different religion, they have their own practices, own sadhana, but all the, as Swamiji says, they may go amin or amen. So a, o, the three aksharas only together, om, the pranava, makes the nada. So with that nada, the universal started moving, going on, merging, again getting the energy, making the universe going on. So like that with the om, that the strong. So when you enter the temple, how you feel that the bell sound, the nada, the bell. So the going that om, 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 as the doctors have said, that the m becomes the go more deeper, more stronger. So om. So when they are even making the bell, they have to, like even the people, our artists, when they're making the statue, even in the olden days, nowadays they may be just thinking how many days they have to make the statue and give to the temple, like that. So in the contract, they're going like that. But they were going through the tapas, and they are going the vrata, like nearly 48 days, that the murti will be in the water, the jala, for quite a few days, and the stone even, and they put it in the raw rice for some time, for a few days, like that. They're going through many process to make that statue, So checking the stone even, like that. So each and every pillar have the nada when you see in the temple. So every bell makes you that nada, feeling that om. So that's what my father also say. Whenever they buy the bell, they have to check whether the nada is fine. Even in the Natuangam, in the dance, when you're going to buy, we have to just check whether this going like a tam, whether the nada is fine to do. Go through the Natwangam also, we have to check. So everything under process of the nada, going on in the nada. The universe is moving in the nada. So every sound, even in the morning, the birds chirping, it's nice nada, in the morning. So when like we are nearby ocean, living nearby ocean, of course, the Kamplisa Madam's structure also very strong vibration Swamiji made, and he built the ashram near the ocean, again near the beach, and again the ocean sound, especially in the Amavasa or Paurnami day, is more strongly, you could feel really. Sometimes when you are standing nearby window, even you can really strongly feel that nada. So with the nada, every nada in the morning itself, when you see the sun, that that gives the vibration for you. And when you hear the ocean sound, that gives the different vibration to you. So when the birds going chirping in the morning, it's nice. When I'm watching in the morning, just the two birds sitting together, and the crows also going here and there making the sounds, but still the birds sitting nicely and making the nada, the squirrels running around. So everything give the vibration for you. It's a nice morning when you see with the birds and all the animals running around and making started to move like that. So every movement in the vibration in the nada actually happening in the universe. So that's what in the temple also, when they are doing the puja, they are going with the kanch, that with the nadam again, making the big melam, the melatalam. Any auspicious ceremony, they will have the melatalam very strongly. So that's what I heard in the young age also, always, because my father was in the Pandit. So in the temple, we always live nearby temple, almost part of the temple we are living. So every time it's going, the melatalam going dum 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 dum. So you just get the energy starts in your system. It's like even though you are just sleepy, it gets you, okay, get up, move. Then just making that sound, that's what they made that melatalam in the morning. Of course, it's very auspicious for every auspicious ceremony. In Indian ceremony, you can see melatalam, because sometimes nowadays they are putting the CDs. It's not good. When they have the melam, really you feel that, okay, that ceremony is going on. Yes, that's going on. That system, that makes your system going on actually. That we will feel very strongly. Of course, chanting, of course, it's a mantra when it's like a tool for the mind, so that is really grabbing your mind, just pulling your mind wherever they are chanting. You can automatically think. That's always I feel. Of course, quite a few will feel the same, I think. So whenever something chanting going on, even though some song is there, okay, some song is going on like that, you feel. But when the chanting playing even in the CDs, very surely, very strongly, it will be pulling our mind, surely. So any temples, any ceremonies, very strongly it's pull. Why? That's how the word, that strong energy, strong Shakti in that, so that it's pull you. Even though when you are like you don't have to go like a Rudra, Chamaka, but still simply when you are going even Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Just simply when you are chanting the Panchakshara mantra, even you see like you feel like, okay, all the five senses I could at least few seconds I can bring together, just at least one pointedness, the ekagrata, like the dharana. The Ashtanga yoga, we have to be practicing all the steps together, slowly building up. That's what Swamiji made. Everything they made. They were the pioneer for many things. Nowadays in the yoga festival, yoga days and all, the competitions they are doing like a yoga and dance together. That they did many years before. They brought that group demo and all, like doing the tableau and all, very long back. They already started. Very recently started people doing, especially after the yoga festival teams coming to the Pondicherry yoga festival. Then they started really like a tableau work, the group demo and all. That's happening in the competition now. So that and all, it's really Swamiji started very early. So he was the father of many things actually. They were the pioneer for many things, like putting the yoga and dance together. Of course, Amaji, the credit goes to her, bringing back the karnas, part of the Bharatanatyam, the bringing back to the karnas. That's like almost like asanas, like our Natarajasana, it will call the Nataraja posture, and like the Ananda Tandava, the leg lifting, totally stretching. You can see in the statues very easily, freely. All the statues have the lifted the leg or stretched fully. All the statues you can see in the many big temples like Chidambaram, Tirunamalai, like we have the Pancha, all the 5 elements have the different related temples in South India. So like that you can see many temples, many statues. Very easily you can feel that in the statue even, because that's what they gone through the tapas and made. So that energy still you can feel in the statue. So that's what the thing they made with everything they made with the vibration, with the nadam, with the energy they are going on. So like that, Swamiji, Ammaji put everything they brought, the possible things they can do, the very, very poor, that people that, the kids don't have the idea even, from that category to the people who can understand. So all the categories they were teaching and brought that even they made with the life going on, they gave the full energy, and that's also going, taking the struggle to keep up going on everything, whatever Ammaji, Swamiji served to our cultural. So like that, you can feel they made everything, that dance, yoga, they brought together. Ammaji brought the karnas back in the dance. Of course, many quite top dancers also did the research, but sometimes we couldn't see, of course, in the practically we couldn't see much. But Ammaji brought everything very strongly in the dance. Then every people started to do almost all the dance full banner, even they'll have the Natarajasana, when they're giving the banner, even it started. Now easily every dance program, you can see one of the posture will be there. Another Tandavara, almost the Natarajasana, it will be very strongly, like a Kapodasana, one leg going back bending, like that will be very easily, you can see with each one of the dancer, any dancer will be using at least one posture. That and all the credit goes to Ammaji only, bringing back the karnas to dance. And so many things we can talk about Ammaji's life, even how much they did. So that they were the example how our rishis and the sadhus, they were going on the thing to keep alive everything in the society with the energy. So that they were the example actually. Like our Reddy Garu, every program he is there in front, sitting from the beginning to end. That's like giving our example, like our master, our guru, music guru, master, Ranganathan sir, Sri Ranganathan sir, he will be there in the concert starting, he will be there up to the end, he won't move even. As the kids, college kids, we may be sitting for some concert, maybe we are going around the temple or coming, sitting back a little bit, or going, moving around or talking with some people like that. But he just come and sit and just listen to the people. Even though when I am singing, I'm learning with him, but still he just listen and give me the correction. That kirtan you are going very freely, very nice actually. This one you will be very confident to sing. So that's just any top singers to the learners, he could just sing, sit and listen the concert, So it's that great thing. That's what I feel with our Dr. Reddy Garu actually. All the programs that my pranams to you, sir. That's really give the example for many of us to, bring that discipline in us actually. So like that, our Ammaji Swamiji made the thing that to be how they very strongly brought into that, how they are going through everything, whatever the struggle they are going through, what they have to do like that. So with that vibration, we could see in every ceremony. So the mantras, when you are chanting, that's really give our, make our energy system going on. So like that, very different energy, all that. That's why they are bringing all the different mootis, because different mootis, different deities, but still all giving the positive energy, but different energy makes for the different actions, in the life. So when you are chanting Om Namah Shivaya, it's give the like a goodness, Namah Shivayam, goodness. So always Ammaji says, like even when they are making the Natya Shastra to be in the Arangetram, they had a lot of struggle. Even Devas had the struggle to bring it, bringing in the action, They have the trouble with the asuras always. That's what. So always there will be a negative force. Whatever you are going to be in the positive thing you want to do, always the negative force will be there. That's what Ammaji says. Every program, something will be happening, something will be there, because you want to do good thing. Always there will be force, but we have to go through, because that's what. Even though cyclone is there, Ammaji didn't stop the dance drama. She held that same evening. Even for that evening, our again Ammaji's guru Adayakar Lakshmanan sir came from Chennai, all the way from Chennai. He was the chief guest. He came to the program. He was there full evening, because that thing again, we are doing that here actually. Muruga dance drama. That sir brought the Devaram and the Bhardiyar song together actually. He put together and bringing the energy for all them. Arumuga, Shanmugam in Sanskrit, the name. So for the 6 phases, one the Arumuga, Shanmugam. So that thing again, you see that he is the warrior, So warrior dance drama we are doing, of course, that energy it's making, it's going, that he will take care of the thing. Okay, that our chittam is in the mind. We have to think, oh, I want to do that. I want to bring that energy. I want to make this. I want to offer this. That's the thing, that seed we have to put, but still we have to work for that, no doubt. But still that energy will take care of that thing, because that as Dr. said, you up to making or going through the process, we have the little bit with that. But after that, it's the universal, he says. So you don't worry many times, when he composes, I will be thinking, oh, that song should be safely that written, that word should be there. We should not lose like that. Then he don't worry anything. After making that, will be very free. Okay, something will come up. Don't worry, something will come up. So like that, he just goes on. Even one composition, I will be thinking, oh, that song very nice. So we should not lose that like that. So like that, when he made the dance drama, that with that energy, with the Armugam, when they are chanting, Sharavana Bhava, Sharavana Bhava, Sharavana Bhava, that warrior thing, very strongly that energy is going. So that's what I feel, even I get the goosebump, because that thing when he's singing Sharavana Bhava, that thing gone, that dance drama, we didn't stop. That same cyclone, even we held the program all the way to Chennai. From Chennai, our guru also came, and we had the dance drama going on. Of course, as Amaji always says, there will be negative force, but we have to go through. That positive energy will save us, surely, but still we have to go through our, with our own effort, with our wholeheartedly, what they are putting the energy, it will lead actually. So that's what they're giving, that mantra, the tool for the mind, that gives like that. When we are chanting Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Shakti, Om Shakti, then it's give you that, even though when you are simply sitting, some people, yes, I have some Shakti now, I can move on. So that gives, when you are simply chanting even. That's why all the different deities for the different energy giving. So energy giving and almost saver of our energy. So like in the practices, even we have like the energy saving bank, we call the skanda. When you're just simply lifting the leg, we are doing in the Loma Viloma, but still the energy is just moving. When you are lifting the leg, simply lifting the head, that energy you are really moving and just bringing to our skanda. So again, the skanda, Subramanya. So our Swamiji's again favorite song, actually, the bhajan is Sharavana Bhava Shiva Kumara, Shanmuganatha Jaya Jaya Shanmuganatha, Sharavana Bhava Shiva Kumara, Shanmuganatha Jaya Jaya Shanmuganatha, Shanmuganatha Jaya Jaya Shanmuganatha, Shanmuganatha Jaya Jaya Shanmuganatha, Sharanam Sharanam Shanmuganatha, Sharanam Sharanam Shanmuganatha, Subramanyam Kartikeya, Subramanyam Kartikeya, Sharavana Bhava, Sharavana Bhava, Shanmuganatha Jaya Jaya Shanmuganatha, Shanmuganatha Jaya Jaya Shanmuganatha, Sharanam Sharanam Shanmuganatha, Sharanam Sharanam Shanmuganatha, Subramanyam Subramanyam Shanmuganatha, Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganatha, Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganatha, Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganatha, Subramanyam Shiva 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 Subramanyam Har 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 Subramanyam Shiva 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 Subramanyam Har 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 Subramanyam Shiva 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 Subramanyam Har 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 Subramanyam Shiva 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 Subramanyam Har 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 Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganatha Subramanyam. Om Vetrivel Muruganukku Arogara, Veeravel Muruganukku Arogara. So when they chant, really that, okay, yes, victory. Why we are chanting always Jai Sitaram, Jai Sitaram, victory over to you, victory. So that's the energy they are chanting in the different deities. That gives our mind to be in the positive energy, to go on, to face anything in the life actually. So sometimes even when they say something, then I'll be, oh, they said about me like this. So, okay, my mind always again it's going to the like a very, very mundane level. Then that's where I come and say, okay, think something else. Make your mind in positive something. Okay, maybe chanting something or sing like that. So it's just totally change you, that give the positive energy again. You are not thinking the mundane, oh, he did to me, he said to me, that's what, this what, like that, it won't be there. So you occupy. So that's why Amaji Swamiji make the student very, very busy. You can ask Jyoti Priya and Murali is with us. And so every moment they have something to do. Every moment they have to have something to think about that. So every morning, like Brahma Muhurta, even they have to get up and they have to go through some of the pranayams for 48 days, one mandala, when they especially in the ashram for 6-month courses. So then they have to really, for the morning Aarti section, they will be singing still. They are chanting all the Gayatri mantras with the ducks in the morning itself. So doing the Aarti. So they are just simply sitting in the morning, quite sitting. Then again, facing the sun and doing the sadhana, offering their Surya Namaskaram, facing sun and doing. And again, with the relaxation finish up, then they get the breakfast a little bit. But still again, they have to little bit wash up and this thing. Again, they have to mind concentrating in the pranayamas. So like that fully going on, very little bit break here and there. Hardly they don't have much time to go to town even. Shortly they may go to a little bit walk in the beach or to the corner maybe. They have time maybe for little coffee there because they're not allowed too many hours outside. So they have to come back for a mantra chanting with the doctor, sitting, chanting all the mantras, concentrating the Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Then they have again very little time. So even though when our Murali asking dinner time, yes, very short time. Then you have to go back to the bhajans singing. So again, they'll be singing the bhajans and sitting with Amaji for satsang. Like that, only like by 9:30, they can go to the bed after chanting Loka Samasta. So like they Amaji Swamiji made that every moment they have to be in the process, that something they can do in the positive way, like a singing, chanting, doing the practice in the pranayama. So like that, when you're occupied yourself, there won't be much disturbance for us actually. So that's what our rishis and sadhus, we say that, okay, maybe for them it's easier because they gone to the, Goha and all, they sit in the cave and do, but not really it won't be very easy, I hope, because maybe they got little bit free because now like with the every second, the cell phone, especially for doctor will be coming like whenever it's needed thing, like he cannot simply sit for lunch. He cannot really enter ICYER, immediately they'll be calling. He cannot even just have the little bit like a nishpanda, even he cannot go. People will be calling immediately. So he had to just really, again, he has to move. So he cannot really rest any time. Every time will be, people will be calling him. So like that, they didn't have much, disturbance, but still some struggle they have gone through. But of course, going through the struggle in the life and doing our tapas, that's really great actually. So that's what our, even though our Buddha and all, they are like God worshipping, but still there's a thing, oh, he went in the night time leaving the family, that thing always there. So all the wife, you can see like Bharatiya wife, she couldn't even have the rice for the kids, for lunch, even she couldn't have the rice even, because he was very contemplating his mind, like writing the poet and enjoying the birds eating the rice, he couldn't even care of for the rice even. So like Gandhiji's wife also, how much is she, even though she has to go through the the operation, even when they said for her that she has to take the non-veg thing, then she could be survive easily, but she couldn't choose that. Even though I had to leave, it's okay, but I don't have to go, to the non-veg thing, don't have to take that thing. So that's what that quite strong tapas, quite strong discipline they had. So many in our nation, of course, from the rishis and hundreds of rishis, hundreds of sadhus, how many of them gone through very much struggle in their life and made that with their own discipline, how much sadhana they gone through, how much they were example in our society to show us, even though whatever struggle is that we can go on. So to be in the nation, but still in this modern life, everything is like a quite fast, move. It's opposite to yoga, sit quietly, don't move. So when you are doing the yoga, even we should not move. We could not think, though our mind also should not move. So our body in the practice also, we are making our body discipline, that when you're going to asana, even one asana to one asana, even necessary movement, we are avoiding unnecessary movements. So everything, it's not moving much, making like our Amaji says always, ground yourself. That's needed with the energy. So with that, with the natural thing, like we have to have the connection with the earth. Like when you're going in the Hasta Padasana, we are touching the, how many of we can go and touch easily, even without much practice, very little practice, even nowadays for me. So it's hard for me sometimes to go and touch the ground. So even I have to little bit make the effort. Okay, go and touch the ground like that. So when you're telling the kids in the dance, so go and touch, at least your fingertips go and touch when you're going. So some steps you go and touch the ground. So every time, like having the connection. So like even dance, when you're starting yourself, you do the namaskar, takka dhimmi, takka jonno, takka dhimmi, takka jonno. We touch the ground, take the Ashirwad from her, our Bhuma Devi. I mean, asking her permission that to go and stamp on her. I'm going to stamp on you. Please take my humble request that I'm going to stamp on you. So taking her permission, telling her advancedly, taking her permission that we are going to stamp on her. That's what we are starting in the beginning. So as we are singing in the beginning, we are starting sa pa sa pa sa. We are starting like a sa pa sa. When you're going to sing even sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni ra va ma ga re sa. So each and every swara is like a related to each deity actually. So each one of them like a devata, like we have Ashtadik Palakas, each every direction have the deity to protect us. So like that, each and every swara is like our devata. So we are going, I mean, asking that, like I'm going to invite you, like ahvana mudra, like inviting you, so that I should not make mistake. Like maybe I'm calling like Dr. Reddy Garu, like in the Telugu version, but I'm not really exactly pronouncing his name, So just like he will accept me, okay. Even though I just say simply that one, he will accept me like that. So with the full name, the Paka I have to call, like a Smita, I have to really say, yes, dear Smita. When I'm calling her, yes, Smita, lovely Smita, then she'll be just, oh yes, I'm here. So Mariti ji, you are there. Yes, I'm here. When you call me, I'm here. Did you call me? Like that, you will be there. Yes, alert. Yes, I am alert to answer you. So that you give that energy when you are exactly calling them with the energy, the exact pronunciation. That's what we need in the Sanskrit also. As our doctors always, like for him is like the prana, you have to think like breathing in, taking that Paramatma, breathing out, letting out the Jivatma. So breathing in, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivam. We have to take in, that pushing out, aham. It should go out our ego. So that's what should be happening. Even in the breathing, we should be able to feel that sound, within us. Pushing out, aham. That aham, that ahamkara. The devil in us, that ahankar, that negative in us, all the things we have to just really pushing out. That we have to push out. Taking that shivam, have to take in. So that's what should be happening. We should be able to feel that again, that vibration, that nadam, we have to feel in us when you are practicing pranayama. So like that, so for Dr. Sir, always it will be yoga, yoga, yogam, yogam, yogam. Shivoham. So that's what's happening for him actually. Even though when he is moving, even when he is contemplating, even every time it's happening to him, especially when he is teaching, singing, very easily happening to him. So like that, our professor, I remember our Kudumu Shastri also, for him, the Sanskrit is like his swasam, So like that, even the ending sound should be very clear when you are pronouncing. Of course, that's what, again, Ammaji says, it's just mind-blowing. It's opening ourselves when you're chanting. That's essence. That essence very strongly in the Sanskrit language actually. That's why we are pushing people to chant in Sanskrit. I mean, the chanting. Of course, even the names, at least they have to tell the asanas name, even in the, Sanskrit. They easily started to tell this posture, like that. The asanas name, they sometimes they are going in English. That's why we are, giving the effort, because our Swamiji is teaching always the emphasis on prana. Again, prana is what? From the nadam, with the vibration only. So that's what that should be. That means that exact the language we have to use actually. So when they are inviting the swaras again, back to the swaras again, we have to be very careful. We want to make very sure that we're not making too many mistakes. That's why in the beginning again we are singing sa pa sa. We are preparing our mind so that we don't make many mistakes when you're singing, when you're going sa rega gama pa ma pada ni padani sasani dasani dabani dabam magari sa. So when you are singing, so that they will with you, they will come and with you, because already we are invited them. Again in the end we are apologizing them that any mistakes I have gone through in the middle, please accept my mistakes. So like that we are apologizing in the end also. Same thing in the dance, we finish up with the namaskaram, we call pranam also. So like that, every process, everything they put with the energy, that everything behind the energy. So as our Swamiji is teaching, everything is a emphasis to prana. So with everything, with the prana, when you're going, it will be very giving our, very easily we can contemplate, and each and every energy will give us to go in the life. And that's what making like a different the ceremonies. Why they did many ceremonies, even though when they are giving the ceremonies for the pregnant ladies, why they made so that they can make them happy, so they could keep them very happy mood always. So when you are happy, again the prana moving, so as our Swamiji says, when you are smiling, you are not really using much muscles. When you're going, you are really making all the muscles. So he giving the effort so very easily. That's what Amaji says. At least give some, maybe start to keep that little bit, like have habit, like a fake smile. Okay, I have to smile like that. Maybe fake smile. You just keep on trying. Then it makes like that, because the habit, because the habit makes you that bring the thing in the routine. So like Amaji give the 3 hours regularity, repetition, rhythm. That may be coming in the positive way later. So you automatically start to give the smile actually. So it become nice smile actually in the end. So that's why always Amaji in the end, she will always write, okay, smile, keep smiling, keep smiling always. So like that, it makes energy again, So that's what in the dance also, unnecessarily, we cannot bring our chin down actually. Whenever, giving the emotional thing, like when we have to really show the sorrow that is really painful, then we are bringing the chin down. Otherwise, we have to really keep the energy. Yes, back. So again, can you hear me? Okay. So again, should be some drishti always. In the opposite energy again, we are talking about the nadam energy. So it happens sometimes, yes. So you have to accept, like that's what in the life, everything we should be accepting that was in the end. No, like even though when you are talking about the pancha koshas, and the end again, Anandamaya kosha, it's accepting, like everything, accepting that what is happening is everything is God given. So we have to take that. So like that, accepting, so that we are we will be happy in everything actually. When we are accepting that this is what given to me, this is what happening, then everything, if we started to accept, understand, then we can move very easily, I think, in the life. That's not easy again, but still that's what yoga is reminding us. And we have lot of practices in our cultural, that thing, the ceremonies, why they have all the ceremonies, why they have all the different pujas, different homas. So again, like charging ourselves. Again, we are thinking about charging ourselves only, our phone always. But many of us, we are not thinking to charge ourselves. That's, we have a lot of many chances in our cultural actually, like charging ourselves with all the ceremonies, different pujas, different homas. We chant many long chanting that gives us energy. That's why all the people, like every ceremonies, they have the different ceremonies, different song, different instrumental they had actually. So all the pujas end with the, I mean, song and dance always, even the simple puja. I remember with my father, he won't, I mean, finish without singing the song. Even though, I mean, the participants, like devotees, they finish the puja. When they finish the puja, they want to go, hurry. They have to go back to the office. They'll say, Panditji, we want to go. It's already 8, more than 8. We want to go. No. Yes, we are finishing. He'll be going. You'll be just chanting the Ganesha fast, like just like chanting, even though not singing, just like chanting. He finish up with the chanting only. Without any song, he never stopped the puja. So always the puja, like starting with the chantings and ending with the song and the dance, even the Brahmotsava. And all the like the celebrity, the time we have specific items they perform in the near the Dwajastamba in the temple. So all the chanting and the dancing is very important. That gives the energy, makes the energy, because in the temple, even like in our body, like a Brahmadanda, what we call the Devas walking stick, the backbone, the spinal cord is the energy thing. That if it is very strong, then up to the end we could be quite strong actually. We don't have to go like this even in the young, I mean the adult age. So the like energy moving pillar. So like that, that's what in the temple also, all the main energies in the Dwajastamba. So that's why they make all the pujas very strong puja, and all you can see they start with the Dwajastamba actually. So all the energies like channelizing, all the energy bringing to that pillar. The stamba, like as we had the stambasana, the Dwajastamba, they do a lot of pujas. So that they chanters singing, and they do the Navasandhi Kautum also they do. So like that, all the important thing in the cultural, you can see all the ceremonies filled with the songs. Each and every ceremonies have specific songs. That's what I brought up in the family. Every ceremony, every puja have the different songs. For every ceremony, we'll be singing, chanting always. That's filled with our any costumes. Even the farmers, you can see, they have the songs when they are working. We can see the fishermen in the next to the beach. When they are pushing the boat, they have the song. When they are doing the fishing, they have the song. For everything song, it's filled with our cultural, our society, filled with the music always. Why? It gives the vibration. That nadam is very important. Similarly, with the chanting, every special chanting, it's give the energy for the special different parts. As our Swamiji's teaching is very unique in the pranava nada. So most of the pranayamas you can see, like a pranava pranayama, that with the that's what the whole sequence he gave in the practices. like Loma, I mean the Adam, Madhyam, Adhyam. So like that, we have the special category, special teaching going on. So Hatina's group, especially for that. So very, very unique. Of course, Swamiji's teaching, every lesson is very unique because filled with the prana, emphasis more on pranayamas, prana. So you feel that in our cultural even, all the ceremonies, all the pujas. So like that, we have many ways to easily charge ourselves. So our mind also should be like a Shivamayam, we say. So our mind should be also Shivamayam. So it will be very easy when you are chanting like Nadham Namah Shivayam, Nadham Namah Shivayam, Yogam Namah Shivayam, Geetam Namah Shivayam, Sangeetam Namah Shivayam, Geetam Namah Shivayam, Sangeetam Namah Shivayam, Yogam Namah Shivayam, Yogam Namah Shivayam, Samyogam Namah Shivayam, Anandam Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam, Chittam Namah Shivayam, Satchitanandam Namah Shivayam, Nadam Namah Shivayam, Yogam Namah Shivayam, Geetam Namah Shivayam, Sangeetam Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam. Binduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Binduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Namah Shivaya, Namah 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 Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah 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 Shivaya, Binduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Binduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Shiva Shivaya, Shiva 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 Shivaya, Shiva Shivaya, Shiva 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 Shivaya, Vinduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Vinduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Namah Shivaya, Namah 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 Shivaya, Yoga Shivaya, Yoga 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 Shivaya, Rudra Shivaya, Rudra 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 Shivaya, Vinduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Vinduruttarupam Nadasandhanam, Vinduruttarupam Nadasandhanam. Om. Yes, with that nadam, we could be easily, feel that nadam in our whole system. And of course, it will be helping not only physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So all the koshas will be helping with that nadam, with the mantra. Very easily we could charge ourselves. And of course, with the vibration, we could help around ourselves, our friends, our family, again, our society, again, our nation, for the, of course, for the whole world, for the whole universe. We could help with the chanting, because chanting takes, like our rishis, wherever they are. They were simply, wherever they were, from that, they can just easily, without having the flight, they can fly over there. So with that mind, with that strong mind, with the chanting, they could send the energy, they were very easily. That's what our Ramanuja said. It's very secret chanting mantra. So do not tell anyone, but he was coming up and just chanted very loudly, Om Namo Narayanaya. So just with the chanting, it's each and every nadam, every bija have the strong energy. It takes us, lead us, give us the energy for the whole universe. So that's what we do. And we have to go on and try our best and leave the rest. As Dr. said, it will take to the whole universe. With that strong message, I want to close up with this. We have some issues also in the middle, but thank you for being there, giving again the energy for me with your vibration. Thanks a lot. I want to thank again Dr. Ananda for this great opportunity for me, and of course, everyone is, benefited a lot with the Mahotsav and with his vibration again, with his nada. Everyone, we can feel that energy. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Devasena Miss, for that most amazing presentation. A presentation where you have brought out the essence of Nad itself. This is very, very important that the concept of Nad comes alive. Most of the time when people talk of Nad Yoga, you'll find them giving a theoretical lecture. Theoretical lecture is only a theoretical lecture. This is an experiential immersion you have given us by letting us know what Nad is, how to experience it, how to feel it from the heart. And again, within the culture, one of the strengths of Devasena is that she has been immersed in this culture. So she has grown up with the cultural ethos, and the training of Swamiji and Ammaji has given her the insight into what her genetical and traditional family background has given us. So she has the genetic and the traditional family background with the insight given by Swamiji and Ammaji of the bigger picture. And this is why she is an embodiment of Nad Yoga and of the Natya Yoga also. And so happy, Devasena Miss, that you have given us this beautiful session today. I apologize for the technical error with my computer shut down for no reason at all. But we know these things happen when the Akasha Devas are interfering once in a while. So I apologize to everyone watching and who will watch in the future that there will be that few minutes while my computer had shut down and it restarted. So we had to come back onto it. Let us close today with the Shanti Mantra. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Om. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us today. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow on the concluding day of our convention. And then on 21st morning, invite you all to be with us in person at Kambliswami Madam from morning 6 to 8, when we will have the common yoga protocol done by more than 100 yoga sadhakas. So welcome to that event also. And thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Nandri Vanakkam.